Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is Afghanistan. Where do we go from here? And of course we have with us to give us an analysis of Afghanistan and where do we go from here, Dr. LMadu1. Dr. LMadu1, I don't think we need to introduce you to our audience. I think you've been with us a number of many occasions, and people are familiar with the kind of knowledge and the kind of information that you bring to us. And we're just glad that you were willing to come by and deal with what we consider to be a very important topic today, and that's Afghanistan. And I think we have to consider that important because we've got some 600,000 troops there, and there's a possibility of even increasing that, and we have to know some things about that. So let's start off by exactly telling me, as well as the rest of our audience, exactly where Afghanistan is in terms of, we recognize it on the map, but tell me something about that area.
Well, Afghanistan, is in Central Asia. It has borders with Pakistan, India, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Iran. The modern Afghanistan came into being really in 1919 when the British ceded foreign control to the Afghan monarchy. And of course, there's been an Afghan kingdom before then, but you've read in history of various invasions from the Mongols and the Russians, etc., etc. But what we call Afghanistan today came into being in 1919, modern day Afghanistan. It is a mosaic of ethnic groups, most of them different from each other, facing different constellations. In the middle, you have the Pashtuns, which is the majority ethnic group in Afghanistan, about 42% of the population. You have the Tajiks, about 27%. You have the Uzbeks, which is about 9%. You have the Hazara, which is about 9%. And then the Baluchis, which is about 5%. All these different ethnic groups have different orientations and face different powers. For example, in the north, with their capital at Mazar al-Sharif, is the Uzbeks. Their loyalty really lies in Tashkent, which is the capital of a country called Uzbekistan. That's how they got their name. And their strong man is a man called General Abdul Rashid Dostum. Also in the north, you have the Tajiks. Their loyalty really lies with their brothers in the country called Tajikistan, with its capital in Dushanbe. In western Afghanistan, with its capital in Herat, they are more Iranian-oriented than facing Kabul. They go to Tehran more than they come to Kabul. Then, of course, religion plays a very important role. This is an overwhelmingly Islamic nation. 80% of them, Sunni Muslims, 19% are Shiites, and then 1% others. Then, of course, linguistically, 50% speak what you call Afghan Persian, or politically it's called Dari. The Afghans don't want you to believe they speak Persian in order to avoid being seen as an appendage of Iran. But the language is Dari. And then the second official language is Pashto, which is the language of the Pashtuns. And then, of course, you have Turkic languages, Uzbek and the rest. This is a country, really, which might not be called a country in the real sense, because of the different constellations. And that's why I've had problems, for centuries about who really controls, that territory because of the different political cleavages. It's a very poor country, 60% unemployment, 60% below poverty, level, almost 80% illiteracy in the country,
And Dr. LMadu, we're going to have to break for this first commercial break, but when we come back, I want you to pick up at exactly this spot in terms of dealing with these ethnic groups, languages, and et cetera, because I think that a large number of people simply thought that this was more of a homogeneous country than what you are portraying here.
Absolutely.
And it's almost as if nobody understands this, know this, but you. You see it, so when we come back, we want to pick up at that particular point. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.